You're listening to the AID Network.
Hey friends, welcome back to another sample of Freedom Week from the Adventures in Design podcast. Today we have a sample from Julie Broughton, who's a lettering artist from London. Today we talk to her about how her self-confidence is helping her freelance take off. The more the freelance takes off, the more she has self-confidence, and one just lends to the other. We also talk about showing yourself and putting your face and your personality into your brand. It's all part of Freedom Week. 10 interviews, 50 questions, all about freelance, all available at aidpodcast.com. Let's get started. It's Julie Broughton on Adventures in Design, Freedom Week. This is a very new millennial type of question about freelance. This is a question that we wouldn't have had probably if we were doing this in 1998 versus 2018. You have decided to start putting your face into your brand. Slowly, we've started, it started out when we saw your hand and we saw a little bit of your arm, and then we started to see the face, and then we started to see you out and about living your life. And I think that it's been very, very smart to interject you into the brand and sort of be like, she's a person. It's not just this person that just churns out all this hand lettering. There's a real person here, like a likable person, somebody you'd want to be friends with. How has it worked out for you actually putting yourself in front of the camera and not just being anonymous in the process, but being literally letters by Julia? Here's the letters. Here's the by part where she makes them. Here's the Julia.
Here's the Julia. I mean, I find it's been good for creating relationships with people. And I decided to do it purely as like a marketing 101 thing, because I'd read time and time again that people want to know you. They want to know the person behind the brand. They don't want to face this thing. And I was, I completely agree, because I always find it great when I can listen and watch a person, vlogs and all that stuff. So, and I'd also, what kind of pushed me over the edge was what I found when I was teaching. When I kind of let go of being teacher Julia and, being very, cut and dried, when I just sort of started letting the weird in, people were responding really well to it, and they'd come up to me at the end of the classes, like raving about how much they enjoyed the class, and they'd seek out my email afterwards to tell me how much they'd enjoyed it and how much they'd enjoyed hearing my random stories of weird jobs I'd done. So I thought, well, if people in my classes respond well to my weirdness, maybe my followers will as well. And
right.
Yeah, I get people just having casual conversations in the DMs now about random shit I'm talking about. And I think it's been really positive, although it was a bit eek at first. I didn't really like hearing my voice.
It takes a little bit to get used to doing it, because so many of us were raised or put in an environment where who would care? Who cares?
Yeah.
We're in an age where we all maybe don't care, but we're curious. And we want to know who does this, who is the person. And it seems as if we're in a moment where those that are willing to share the most, to be out in front of the camera the most, are the ones that get rewarded the most. Almost as if just showing your face elevates the process and becoming known as a brand. And for somebody like you that does something that's handmade, that is a unique skill set, I'm seeing you starting to get pushed into that category of being a craftsman or being an artist. And the more that people perceive you that way, guess what? The rates can go up, the demand can go up. Like, I think it was a very, very bright move.
Good.
You found your calling, which allowed you to find your freedom. In that process, you've been taking chances, you've been getting hired, you've been proactive in sending out promos, which I didn't know that people still even did that. You decided to put your face and your presence into the brand. Do I have it right in that you are someone who today versus 2 years ago has maybe 200% more points of self-confidence?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A few years back, I got a job via someone else, but they were saying there was a job from someone at the Daily Mail. Now, I don't know if you're aware of the Daily Mail, but it is it's just the shittiest, most horrid newspaper.
I love it.
And it's just absolute scum. But 2 years ago, a couple of years ago, however long ago it was, I didn't want to just come out and say, fuck no, I'm not going to work for your newspaper. I was just like, I don't have time, I'm sorry, just making excuses. But nowadays, I know I'd probably give them a point-by-point presentation on why I would never work for them and how can you sleep at night, that sort of thing. And I feel much more confident in my abilities. And I mean, I still suffer from a lack of confidence. I mean, when the work's not coming in and the email is very empty, I worry that I'm just living in dreamland thinking this could work. But when it actually comes down to it, it's sort of like, I don't know, my attitude to getting paid the right amount and all that sort of stuff is very much like, no, you need to pay me. You're paying for X amount of years of experience. It's not just that it takes me half an hour. I've spent the last 5 or so years getting to the point where if this only takes me half an hour, you will pay me, otherwise you go elsewhere.
Well, I have found that as your self-confidence matures or ripens, however you want to look at it, you start to be perceived in a different way. And once that perception starts to pivot around, then you become the thing. I've said it on the show 1,000 times, like, show the world the person you want to become, and then you'll be treated like that person. But I think that you are literally somebody who is on that path right now, and you can watch it happen in real time. So when I looked at every bit of your career and put it together, I looked at, this is a person who's finding their path, finding their voice, finding their self-confidence. As the self-confidence rises, how does the freelance career rise? Because in my mind, they're very tethered together.
Well, yeah, I feel like in the last few months or so, things really have started to happening. And it's going the way I wanted it to. When I first started freelancing, I mean, I was doing the stuff for my old job. I was teaching loads. But I also had a foot planted firmly in wedding work as a calligrapher. But I realised really quickly that's not what I wanted to do. It didn't feel right for me. So I wanted to really focus on the commercial stuff, the books, the magazines, whatever. And I've just thrown all my energy into that and gained the confidence with the talking to clients and approaching clients and that sort of thing. And I feel like it's finally starting to pay off. Because I mean, a lot of it is fake it till you make it kind of thing. And when clients would first approach me, it was kind of pretend you know what you're doing, pretend you know how to price this, pretend you know how to do this very specific thing they're asking you to do, and then you just kind of muddle along pretending you still know what you're doing, and then suddenly you've done it, and next time you can be like, I definitely know what I'm doing,
right,
you can trust me. And I feel like that really does come across even on something like simple like an email. Self-confidence
is one of those things where we don't realize how we're putting it out to the world, but it does come across in an email, in a phone call, in a face-to-face meeting, and in the way that you present your work. There's a way where somebody who is self-confident literally puts up an Instagram post, whether they're in it or not. There's a way that you start to present things where you tell the world, you don't ask the world, you tell the world that it's good. And there's a way that you get behind, or you get away from this whole like, oh, shucks, guys. Like, I mean, there are people that do all shucks to manipulate their audience, and I hate those people.
Yeah.
But there is the real earnest all shucks, where it's just somebody who, like, literally you could tell that they probably rewrote that paragraph on Instagram 50 times and just were like, oh God, do I hit submit? And you could tell it was a big moment for them to even get that out to the world. But then that person seems like a liability to work with, or it seems like a lot of hand holding, or what if you hire them, you don't like the work and you got to give them a kill fee? Are you literally going to kill them? It's a whole weird mindfuck where we are drawn to other people that have what we want, which is self-confidence. We are attracted to success.
I made a conscious decision a while ago, about a year or so ago, to not do the whole, oh no, my work is shit, don't compliment me.
Hate that.
Yeah. I just turned around and said to myself, if someone says, oh my God, your work's amazing, and you say, oh no, it's crap, it's kind of insulting to every single person who has commissioned you. Every art director, you're saying, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I've just pulled a fast one over you. My work must be good. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best, of course I'm not. but I must be of a certain level to be out there and to have art directors. I mean, I literally had the top creative guy of Starbucks UK message me the morning after he received one of my promos saying, "Oh my God, your work's amazing. Shame we don't work with freelancers," which I was so fucking bitter about. If someone like that is telling me my work is good, I'm not going to turn around and say, "Oh no, I'm shit. That probably makes me sound really fucking cocky, but...
No, it doesn't, because if somebody comes up to me and goes, "I really, really love Adventures in Design. I listen every day and it's changed my life." And I go, "Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. I'm just doing it till something better comes along." How would that make that person feel?
Exactly.
If somebody gives you a compliment, you don't really owe anything to anyone, but you certainly, they certainly don't deserve to be told that they're stupid for believing in you. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's sample from our Freedom Week that we're having all week long over at AID Podcast on Instagram. It's aidpodcast.com on the web. You can go over there and find all of the episodes as well as our archive of over 800 podcasts. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're having fun listening to the sample podcast. I would love to know below, have you found that your face and your presence and your personality has made your brand get seen a different way? And are you finding that as your self-confidence grows, so does the jobs that you get and the rates that you get paid to do them? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy Freedom Week. Please, by all means, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell a friend. And please remember to come back tomorrow for another sample podcast.